This example is on the critical path method in project management. Your book talks about two ways to do CPM. The book talks about the systematic method. And so CPM can be done using the systematic method, and that's not required in this course. It's too detailed, and it's for more of a required course on project management, which this is not. And what is for this course, for 350, I require you to know the enumeration method, which is I'm going to cover in this example. So that's all you need to know. So the enumeration method doesn't give you all the information, but it gives you enough to calculate critical path and some information that this example is on the critical path method, and there are two ways to do the critical path method, CPM. The book talks about the systematic method, which is used by programs like Microsoft Project, which is not required in this course. And in this course, what I require is the enumeration method. And so I'm going to describe it in this example. So the enumeration method requires enumerating all the paths from beginning to end in a project. By the way, this is a project represented in the form of activity on arc, AOA, activity on arc. So each activity has a starting node, an arc, and an ending node. So 1, 2 would be an activity. So the activity is not on the node like we covered before. So this is as opposed to the alternative that we covered before, and that was activity on node. Okay, so the activity on arc is all I want you to focus on in this chapter. And so if we count how many activities are in this project network, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 activities in this project. There are two activities that are dashed. A dashed activity like this between two nodes is considered a dummy activity. A dummy activity is an activity that is used just so we can have a better representation of other activities in the network, so that arcs don't cross each other, basically. It has a duration of 0. So two activities are dummy. But we still use them when we are listing our paths. So when we're doing enumeration, we have to list all the possible paths and the time it takes. And then we will pick the one with the longest path, and that's the meaning of critical path. So let's see how many paths we have. Let's list them all, and we will list them by their nodes. So the path has to be continuous. You can't move your pen off the paper. So we go from 1 to 2 to 6 to 9. That would be one path. Then we go from 1 to 2 to 5 to 7 to 9. 1, 2, 5, 8, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 8, 7, 9. 1, 4, 8, 7, 9. 1, 4, 5, 7, 9. And then 1, 4, 5, 8, 7, 9. Okay, so now we calculate the length. So the length is usually in an AOA network representation is above the arc. So 1, 2 is 8, 2, 6 is 5. So 8 plus 5 plus 6, 9 is 4 is equal to 17. So if it is days or hours, that would be the duration. 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. So that would be the same. I'll do another one in detail and then you get the idea. 1, 2 is 8. 2, 5 is 0. That's a dummy activity. 5, 7 is 7. And then 7, 9 is 9. And that would be 24. So similarly, you calculate all the rest. We get 21 here, get 25 here, 22, 14, 23, and 20. So by definition, the critical path is the longest path in the network, and that would be this one, 25. So this would be my critical path. And so this would be the duration, the project duration. So if these are weeks, if the time is in weeks, so this project will take 25 weeks. And the assumption is if you can finish the longest path in the network in 25 weeks, then you can have other people work on other tasks in the network simultaneously and finish them as well. So, critical activities then are 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, and 7, 9. Now, critical activities, all these activities will have slack equal to 0, which means if they get delayed, the whole project will get delayed. And so they cannot slide. If one of them takes a week longer, then the rest will take a week longer. So, and that's the whole point of doing CPM, is having management focus on a small number of tasks that and make sure that they don't slide and they get done on time, so that they don't focus on the entire number of tasks, but on the critical activities and make sure that they finish on time. So do I know the slack for, say, activity 4.8? Do I know what is the slack for activity, for example, 4.8? The answer is no, because I did it by enumeration and I don't have all that kind of information. Now, if I did the systematic method, I will get the slack systematic method. I did enumeration. So the only slack I know of would be the slack for the critical activities, and I know that those slack would be 0, and I would know the critical path as well. And that's all you're required to know in this chapter and for this class.